Yo, c'est Marc, aka Funky Shirts, aka Papa Jams, bienvenue dans ma petite cave. Je vais vous faire découvrir mon petit espace, je suis ravi de vous recevoir, on va s'amuser et passer un très bon moment. Bienvenue. Grew up in Switzerland, was there until I was 18, and most of my life I was not a huge fan of electronic music. And then when I was 16, 17, I went to some disco parties that when it was like disco to house, and then I was like, house music is pretty fun. And then I started going to rave parties, because it's a big culture in Switzerland, and that's where I first fell in love properly with electronic music, with the vibe, the scene, the people, and just the general environment that you develop in, no? And so that was like my basic influence. And then when I started DJing, I mostly played house music. And then throughout time, I discovered all the styles and everything. And I always say music is a bit like food. The more you try to discover new things, the more you open to try new things, the more you can discover new music, discover new artists, discover new subgenres and everything. And now I just try to open myself up as much as I can to the world of electronic music, basically. I mean, for me, I always loved sharing music with friends. For me, I always have so many WhatsApp groups with different friends that we always share music to one another. And I feel that when I'm DJing, that's like the official way of displaying the music I enjoy and I discover every day. Just, for me, it's all about sharing, you know, and that's why I'm always very pushing people and to ask me, like, for example, I always say in my stories, you can always ask me about the music that plays in my story because I'm super happy to share it. And so in my sets also, every time you ask me for a track idea, I'll always give it to you because for me it's all about, sharing your music and expressing it to the best. So Papa Jams, I opened it a year and a half ago, a bit less. So it's a second-hand record store. I'm in the basement of another record store, so I'm a bit hidden. It's obviously open to the public, but you have to look for me to discover my space. So it's a second-hand record store. I also do distribution, so I work hand in hand with independent labels and artists to help them in the journey of releasing their music on vinyl, selling it, and just expressing themselves in this industry. Putting it together and everything was not the hardest. For me, the hardest was to finding the name because I was like, fuck, it's gonna be the name of my shop forever, so it has to be something I'm gonna be happy with forever. And so Papa for me has something very familiar. It's also what I want in my shop. I want people to feel like they're at home. It has a bit of a living room vibe, no? So for me, like, I want people to feel at home. And also a big little shout out to my dad also that he was the first guy that showed me house music. And also just introduced me to music in general. And then jams. I always played, before I started DJing, I also played music. Guitar, bass, a bit of drums here and there. And it's a bit of a reflection of me, so it's not messy, but it's a bit messy. It's a lot of stuff here and there. But all in all, it's all about having a space that's exactly you feel comfortable in, that people can come in and feel at home. And like, you know, it's like everyone that comes in my shop, since you have to go down through the stairs, I'm gonna greet them obviously when they come in, you know, so there's always this conversation also. It's just good vibes, happiness, and not taking myself too seriously because I think it's important to do things seriously sometimes, but I think when you're talking about music, it's an art, you know, so I felt like, Papa Jams just involves everything that I enjoy about this, and it sounds very catchy, so I was like, perfect. Papa Jams it is. This was the base stock I started with when I opened the shop. It's very house oriented. So most of what I sell in my shop is house music. Obviously I try to diversify myself a bit, also to be able to have records that so everyone that comes here can find something they like. But mostly second-hand electronic music, and also by the labels I distribute myself. I'm currently looking for some dub and reggae because it's a genre that that's really dear to me. And unfortunately, I haven't found the right sources yet, but hopefully I'll be able to start selling a bit of that too. No, it's obviously it's come from different sources. So I was mentioning it before. This was the first collection I bought, which was from this French DJ and producer called Parisian Soul. He actually was the guy that he still does my mastering actually for most of the records I released with the distribution. And he had all these records in a storage place in Sitges. And when I told him I was going to open the shop, we had talked initially about me taking over the collection and everything. And that was the initial stock I got. There was roughly 5,000 records, out of which I sold a bit more than 1,000, I think, so far. And since it's a very special collection, I try to not sell it all at once because the stuff in there is just amazing. So obviously a lot of people, when they come to the shop, they ask me if they can look through it, to which my very mean answer is no, I'm sorry. As I said, for me it's a very, very special collection, and I want to sell it progressively and not just in one go. But to compensate a bit for being a mean guy, I allow them to do, like, once a month, I do a late night session at the shop. So usually open at 5-6 p.m. and we're on until 2-3 a.m. And what I do is I'll take 2-3 levels out, put them on boxes on the floor and let people dig through it. And for these you have to take an appointment because a lot of people want to come for those. Like this, it's a bit of a compensation for not letting people check them out every day. I just give them the opportunity every once in a while to. And also I have like this rule in my shop that I'd never sell a record more than 30 euros. I think, and I always tell that to people when they come in. On Discogs, I don't care. But in my physical shop, whatever the price of the record is, if it's 150 euros on Discogs, it'll be 30 euros in here. If I catch you try to sell it on Discogs after I saw it for you for 30 bucks, it's out. You're not coming in my shop anymore. It's just a record store, and we're just here because we all enjoy music, you know, and there's no, like, for me, it's irrational to be selling records for hundreds of euros when I haven't fucking done shit apart from buying that record and just selling it and doing crazy margins. So for me, that's already one thing. They think people consider I'm honest maybe in what I do. So I'd say, like, we have two types of people. We have people that live in Barcelona and people that come from abroad. When Barcelona is a very touristic city, so also have a lot of tourists. I say the tourist is a very varied, what they're looking for is a bit more varied because people have all the influences, their trends from their local scenes or whatnot. So it's very various, but maybe from the people from Barcelona, Barcelona is a very trendy city, you know? Usually there's a big trend of music that lasts a couple years, and then there's a new trend, and then a new trend and whatnot, no? So people nowadays, lots of progressive house, old school tech house, electro house. Yeah, people are looking for a bit more harder beats and stuff like that. For example, my house, like my classic house section with like deep house, garage house, soulful and everything, is not really so digged into it by the local people, I'm saying, by other people, yes. So what I try to do, for example, to counter this is, like, in my records that I classify as house, there's always like a dub, not always, but there's a lot of them that have like a dub version on the B-side that's a bit more actual, or sounds a bit more like what the people are looking for at the moment. So I always put it on the label, like, come on, check this out, man. Like, maybe the record is mostly garage house and that's not what you're looking for, but there's a dub version of that track that's fucking amazing that you should listen to. So yeah, in that sense, that's maybe what people are looking for mostly when they come to Papa Jams. First of all, I want to make a disclaimer. It was very, very hard to choose every record, but I did my best. But yeah, for 4 a.m. rave with 500 people, I chose this record of Kung Fu Bros. It's a duo from Spain. It was released on Vendetta Records, also a Spanish label. I think it's the club mix. That's the most banging one. It's a bit of a trancey, techno-y sound, but it has some little breaks in the middle too. It's a very, very fun record. Beautiful cover too. So yeah, that would be my rave tune at 4 a.m. for the peak time. Underground club at 2 a.m. So for this, I chose this record of this duo called Latin Boom. It was with a guy called Olav Bosaski, I don't remember. He did the Samplitude series on the work label. But he had this duo with another guy that's a bit random. And they have this crazy track on Fast Food Records. Actually, I think I got it at my friend's Tomaso from Vineros Viajeros. And the B1 Café con Leche, the ambient mix of it. I don't know why they call it the ambient mix because it doesn't sound ambient to me, but yeah, that also that a bit of a trancey sound. It's a bit more housey, but very, very efficient 4x4 with a funny little Spanish vocal that's just, they don't do too much of it, just very lightly. it's very banging. If you have seen me recently, I've played it quite a few times because it's a fucking banger, yeah. Obviously, porno beats. No, no. This one I just wanted to take it for the joke. It's just a very funny record I got in a flea market. This is just like trip hop beats, but it's very fun. I just wanted to make it for the joke. No, in all seriousness, I choose this one. It's a compilation of Guts. They used to do the beach digging compilation. I think they did five or six of them. This is the number 3. And the first one on the A1, there's the Gene Lawrence Feel Like Making Love to You track, which is just a call for love and romance. It's a very beautiful track. I heard it for the first time on the radio on Couleur 3, which is a Swiss radio, one of my favorite radios in the world. And that's how I discovered Guts and his compilations, actually. Guts doesn't need any introduction. I think he's a fucking legend in the French scene. And the whole this whole compilation is very beautiful. Everything, it goes from some reggae stuff, some jazzy stuff, some funky stuff, some soul, but it's all very wholesome and very heartwarming music, I want to say. So I think it'd be perfect for a little romantic date. Especially A1 of the G. Lawrence, but the rest also is all beautiful. I would just let it go, let it play. And if it's gonna be a romantic night, I need a double, you know? An EP is not gonna make it.
That's the time. Feel like making love to you. That's the time. Feel like making dreams come true. Oh, baby.
Okay, so I mentioned before, I love reggae, I love dub. It's also one of the things genre of music that's always followed all my life. It's true that when I'm at home, I try not to listen too much electronic music, because since I do that almost 8-9 hours a day already here, I try to listen to more not electronic. So I chose this record of Linton Kwesi Johnson. Beautiful record. And it has a really amazing track that my friend Edouard showed me when I was like 17, I think. It's called Sonny's Letter. And basically, the guy, Linton Kwesi Johnson, is almost more of a poet than a singer to me. And this track in particular is the story of a guy that sees his friend getting beat up by police for no fucking reason. And so Linton apparently, Sonny, this is the guy he's talking about, comes to help his friend and beats up the cops and ends up in jail. And he's writing a letter to his mom from jail. And it's a very, very beautiful track. And the record also itself is beautiful. So after a long day, I like to listen to a little reggae and just chill the fuck out of in my house, you know?
Brixton Prison, Jeb Avenue, London Southwest 2, England. Dear Mama, good day. I hope that when these few lines reach you, they may find you in the best of.
Well, I have two things. When I cook, I have this big issue, which some friends of mine will understand. I have probably 150 open YouTube tabs on my computer of music I need to listen to. So usually when I cook, I just try to listen to these tabs to get them out. But otherwise, I listen to a lot of Brazilian music. I think I try to be in a good mood when I cook. And so I choose this one of João Selva. It's from 2022. It's not very old. I had never heard of this guy until I went to Marseille like 2 years ago to a record store called Galette Records, and the owner was super friendly, a bit like here, you know, very friendly, like wanting to help me out and give me some good stuff. And he recommended me this guy, and it's just fucking precious. It's a mix of bossa, of funk, of jazz, of zouk also, because this guy used to tour in Africa and Central America a lot, so you can hear the influences of everywhere he's played. And he has this track called Vai Te Curar. Sorry for my Portuguese, I don't speak it very well. That's just fucking beautiful. So João Selva, he has a few other albums, I recommend you check them out also. This is the only record I've got of his, but it's on Underdog Records. Really fucking sick too.
O funk vai te curar, você pode acreditar. O funk vai te curar, então não dá colher de chá. O funk vai te curar para hora a vida melhorar. O funk vai te curar. O funk vai te curar.
I have zero guilt. I'm not guilty. No, it's for the joke. I'm not guilty of anything I listen to. I assume it to the fullest. But I took two things that maybe funnier stuff. I couldn't decide. Have nothing to do with one another. But I have Jungle Hits Volume 1. Yeah, Volume 1 with the General Levy original nota of Shy FX. So I have some crazy ass fucking jungle beats. General Levy, yeah, and fucking Buju Banton, Free Buju Banton also. Yeah, this is fucking just crazy fucking record. I guess it's not cheesy or whatever, but it's like the classic jungle beat, so maybe it will be considered guilty pleasure. So Jungle Hits, really good fucking record.
It goes, I am the incredible general. Sensational with the coming, incredible general.
And the other thing is maybe something people don't really know about me, but when I was younger, I was really into 60s and 70s rocks. I don't know if it's gonna hit the frame, but yeah, there's like a Woodstock poster I have here. Because that was my big influence when I was in my early teenage years. And so I have this Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young record, which is beautiful. And it has this track called Ohio, which actually was written after, it was in commemoration of I think 3 or 4 students from the Ohio University or something that got killed for a protest during the Vietnam. They were doing a protest against the Vietnam War, and I think Nixon sent the military there or something, and some students got killed. And so Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young did a little commemoration song for them. I don't feel guilty at all. It's just music that maybe people don't really know I listen to, but I recommend also you listen to these guys. They're phenomenal, beautiful guitarists, all of them. Young is from Neil Young, Bill Crosby. I don't have Stills and Nash's first name, but beautiful record too. I recommend.
Tin soldiers and Nixon coming. We're finally on our own. This summer I hear the drumming. For dead in Ohio. Gotta get down to it. Soldiers are cutting us down. Should have been done.
Thank you guys so much for listening to my little interview podcast session. It was a pleasure to receive you in my little cave. If you haven't come visit me yet, please come. I would be more than happy to receive you. Everyone is welcome. Bring dogs, bring kids, bring your mom, bring your dad, bring your girlfriends, bring your cousins. Everyone is welcome at Papa Jams. Thank you so much and see you in the cave.